Wake up, people. Wake up. I can't believe the news report that I've read today. They are now got 50 experts looking to reframe the word obesity. So they're saying that people have already got issues with obesity, with other complications. That's going to be classed as morbid obesity. But they want to reframe the word obesity where people currently don't have other direct issues. But wake up, people, for Christ's sake. Right, let's take it back to basics. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years ago, the human body needed fat to deal with the feast and famine issues that mankind or humankind faced. Because you never knew when your next meal was coming. You didn't know when you're going to catch your next food or whatever it was. And there would be times where you would go days without eating, all sorts. So the body has that mechanism to store fat for when it was in abundance, and then it was available for when it was in famine and your body used the fat to energize the body and keep it going. So listen, be quite straight. But when you get to the level of someone that was obese, like I was, and I was morbidly obese, the body is obviously storing far too much fat. And you've got to ask the question, why is it storing too much fat? And a lot of it comes down to, and it's not the only thing, but a lot of it comes down to insulin resistance. Insulin is a hormone produced by the body that tells the body to store. So when food is in abundance and it's in the blood, now remember, carbohydrate is a toxin to the body. So it burns it as energy. That's why carbohydrate in the body is the first choice for the body to burn, because it's a toxin. So it will burn it for energy. Okay. What it can't burn, to make sure the blood doesn't become too toxic, it issues insulin, which tells the fat cells store, store, store. So it's a bit like the stock exchange where it's buy, and sell, sell, sell. It's the body instructing, store this, it's in abundance, we may need it for later, so your body will store fat. But in the Western lifestyle, we are constantly under insulin demand and resistance. So the body is storing. And you get to the point that the fat cells are well overstored. So it's like having a warehouse absolutely full to the brim. The doors are burring, okay? So the body then pushes it into other areas. And that's why you get a build-up of fat around your livers and your other organs, and fatty liver and all that comes into it because you've got far too much fat. And that's due to the Western diet, the amount of ultra-processed foods, the wrong types of fat, like the so-called vegetable fat, which is actually seed oil. So it's not vegetables, it's from seeds. And the body finds that highly toxic. Why people like me who push the carnivore model is because it's protein and fat. And for me now, it's more fat than it is protein. And my body can do, I can now do extended fasts because I've primed my body with plenty of protein. All the vitamins I need comes out of the meat and the eggs that I eat. And then obviously additional fat, the body is either using for energy or restoring it in energy for when I do need it. And over a fasting period, that's what happens. I go into a fat adaptation and it burns off fat. Simple. Carbohydrates make the whole thing more complex because the body will burn carbohydrate first because it's the worst thing, and it would then burn fat secondly, and thirdly, if you don't have enough fat and you don't have enough carbohydrate, it then turns on the muscles. So that's why when people are starving or have been starved for long periods of time, they lose a lot of their muscle tissues because the body is using that to create energy. So wake up, people. Stop trying to relabel and reframe things to make it seem okay. I'm not a fat shamer. I was obese myself, but people have got to wake up to the reality. Being excessively overweight, like obese, is not good, and it is the pathway to disaster. So stop it. Stop it right now. And these so-called experts trying to make the narrative seem better by relabeling obesity, call it what it is. It's excess fat. You shouldn't be at that level. You should be below it. They're talking about BMI is not the right measure. And there are people that are... I was obese and I was still reasonably fit, but I wasn't healthy. And if you remain obese, you put the pressure. And the thing is, what really frustrates me, they departmentalise all these different illnesses. So you've got things like diabetes, dementia, Alzheimer's, sleeping issues, metabolic issues, heart disease, strokes. But if you look at it, if you're obese, you're on that bloody pathway. So wake up, people. God, I am so frustrated. I'm becoming Mr. Angry Carnivore, which is not me. I'm not an angry carnivore. But I get frustrated when I see in the media this kind of narrative, which is reframing, trying to make it the normal, and it's not normal. I was born in 66. If I look at any photos through my first 5-10 years, there was probably one fat person in any of the pictures. Now look at it now, it's counted. They are saying 1/3 of adults in the United Kingdom are now obese. My God, people, wake up. And then they push the whole agenda, which I did my last rant about the so-called weight loss injection. Oh my God, take responsibility. You can do it. And what I'm telling people, if you go down this low-carb, high-fat, high-protein diets, you don't feel hungry. The so-called food noise disappears. So come on, people. Wake up. Go and follow people like Ken Berry, Dr. Chafee. There are a shed load of people on there that will tell you the facts. Insulin resistance is the killer. For all these other illnesses, it's the trigger to do it. And the obesity is your telltale sign. It is your clear vision of the problem. You can reverse it. You can reverse diabetes. You can reverse high blood pressure. You don't need to pop a pill. Diet is better than a pill. Get your diet right. Get your lifestyle right. Right. Rant over.